Hey folks, welcome to Good News York. I'm your host, Matt Major from Clickstream Studios. We are here in our awesome, I don't even know what we're calling this, the gamer nerd, our dream childhood studio here at the new Clickstream Studio space. We have an incredible new space for Good News York that we're going to start using, but I'm like a perfectionist, and Danny's really getting annoyed because he's like, can we just start using the really nice studio we built in the other room? I'm like, no, dude, we got to get one more chair in there. But you're going to see that soon. In the meantime, though, we're doing some incredible things, and we have got a couple of gentlemen here that I'm sure you know. They're much more well-known than we are. If you have an inkling who we are, you definitely know who these gentlemen are. And I'm very excited to learn their story because not only are they content creators, not only are they local guys, but they've really found success doing some things that a lot of folks, I want to say, dreamed of. I don't want to say have tried because I think the biggest challenge is people don't try.
Yeah.
But you're living the dream, gentlemen. And without further ado, I love you. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
Yeah. So my name's Alex DeRosa. I'm a co-owner of Spatchcock Funk. Our show is really a way to hang out and throw parties with each other. I mean, that's where it started. It was like, how can we just hang out and do the things we are doing already? Whether it was at the time, throwing softball parties or throwing Halloween parties, we were doing it all, and it was so much fun with our friends. And now we're, I guess, getting paid to do it.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
That's the hope, at least.
Yeah. Well, we are getting paid to do it, but we're also, I don't know if we're good at making money. I mean, we're really good at spending it. I can say that.
it's easy
building
to do.
sets and everything. But I'm Matt Reed, the other co-owner of Spatchcock Funk, and like Alex said, we wanted to really find an excuse to party with our friends, but there's things that we believe in, like creativity, like cool spaces like this, and some social justice messages. So how can we all right, we believe in these issues, and also we like to throw banger parties. And we built this community like y'all have done, and it feels really cool, but it's scary sometimes because every day you're like, oh shit, this is something new and cool, or like we didn't think about that. So we're in a really cool growth mode, but just like this show, I think a lot of people seem like that looks fun, and it is super fun, but you got to try. And then the hard work comes in down the road. But you're right, you got to try. Anybody can do a lot of the stuff that we're doing.
Guys, I got to know the burning question. Where did this name come from?
Matt just wrote it on a piece of paper, and we picked it. Now, we were on this. He did. He came up with a bunch of names, and the hope was to. So, a lot of our cooking technique, or Matt's cooking techniques, and the style came from tailgating. So he would do like crazy, roasting pigs or alligators, or it was non-unique. It was unique stuff that you would never eat at a normal tailgate. And so we needed a unique cooking term, and then we wanted to mix our love of music and arts and culture.
Sure.
And so Spatchcock is a little bit more trendy now that Martha Stewart was spatchcocking things, but it's the way you cook a chicken. Matt can explain the exact technology or the term behind it, but the funk is Rage Against the Machine song Renegades of Funk. And so that was music's a big part of everything we do. We just filmed an episode where we were at a recording studio throwing a party for a band that was recording their album.
Awesome.
So like everything, a lot of our crew goes to a lot of concerts together, and a lot of these stories and ideas have been kind of formed at those events. So music, food, connected, and that's kind of where. And then Matt wrote it on a piece of paper and put the two words together, and then we're like, that one sounds cool.
Yeah, I remember we were flying to Austin, I think, or Chicago maybe, when we came up with a name, and we had this list. And I've said this to other people, like one of the names you got to think about, are people going to, now that we're on TV, are we able to get this on TV? Like I wanted the name Sex, Drugs, and Lobster Rolls, right? And that's not going to fly. But when we think about naming stuff, we have so much fun in our job, coming up with the names or ideas of stuff we're going to do. And we'll go back and forth on crazy ideas, but it surprises me, the name Spatchcock Funk, which, people can see it as a double entendre. There are a lot of times where Alex and I will have an idea and we'll be like, dude, that's not going to work. And then all of a sudden people love it. Or we get away with it. It's really fun. And the name, I think, kind of speaks to that. Plus, it's memorable.
Yeah. If we're going to try to do a show or content in any way right now in this world, it's so hard. You have to be different.
Yeah.
And the name has to be a little different to start.
Sure.
If they're flipping, we're on PBS, so they're going to be flipping through whatever guide they're on.
Yeah.
And if they saw, Matt's, cooking show or some generic name, they're not going to start. When they see Spatchcock Funk, they're curious, just
Yeah.
like you're curious. What is this name about? What is it about? And hopefully they stay for a little bit.
I love it. I love it.
The play on words too. Like I think about, I'm a big fan of wordplay, and if you think about like Good News York, that's just to me classic quality wordplay.
Sure.
Because people see it, they get it, and then they do a double take. Like Alex was just talking about flipping through the channels. Like when you see like Pawn Stars and these things, you're kind of like, wait, what? Is there something, you know?
Sure.
And so how do you draw that in? And you guys do it well, but it's always the challenge, getting people's attention.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's it. And, you know, we're in, we keep saying, and with our content marketing clients, we talk about all the time, we're in the attention economy, right? And that's honestly the biggest thing that we try to promote, that we offer, is helping you get the attention that you need, specifically online in our case. But talk to me a little bit, if you could, gentlemen. How did this go from kind of this idea and these things we like to do and we like to cook and things like that? How did it come to actually making content and turning into an actual show?
So Matt and I's background is in agencies. We both worked at ad agencies.
Gotcha.
Production has always been my background. So more on the video side. Matt's more on the creative kind of leadership, copywriting side. But also we both cook and hang out with our friends. So in I think the period of time, we've talked about this for a couple of years, and our friends were like, you guys should do something like a tailgating show, or we should film this. And we're always like, yeah, for what? Like, what are we going to do with it? And we would throw these parties with our friends, and it would be Halloween, right? And we were like, that was so much fun. We have to wait another year to throw a Halloween party. Let's do something else. So we would throw another party. We came up with this top 6 party. You bring your top favorite 6 songs on a CD, which was awesome.
Or
wild.
Or a flash drive, and we're going to play it, and there's going to be a list, and you're going to learn about people's taste in music. So we just kept coming up with it. And at one point, we said, let's go and film this. And let's go film Matt make a recipe. Let's just start it. And if we get some views, great. Matt luckily knows a lot of people, as does his wife, Stephanie. So we got a lot of views. But they were people that knew us. So we just kept going. And luckily we got, I don't want to say luckily, because COVID was an awful time for a lot of people. But for us, it gave us the breath and all.
Thank God for COVID.
Yeah. All the stuff we do, like we're busy. Everyone's busy, that it gave us a break to like focus on it. And it helped us grow it, and it got us on CNY Central, a local show, a news show here. With a lot of the bad news in the world, they wanted a bright spot. And so we're still on it 6 years later as like a 3-4 minute recipe segment where
sweet,
we can do. And so that right there gave us the next step to say, okay, let's keep going now.
Sure.
We always had a TV show idea. So we always wanted to do a bigger show, but this launch pad of the Sinclair stations really gave us like the proof of concept. After 2 years of making this in Matt's garage, and like, I don't know if anybody's watching this. Like we have no idea.
Right.
We know it airs, we just don't know. And then we
That's the thing, because you're in traditional TV. It's not like all the YouTube where there's a running counter, right?
Right. So we'd be in public, and Matt would get a lot of these, and I would call him out saying that's not true. But people would come up to him in grocery stores and want pictures, and call and FaceTime their parents, and it just kept going.
That's
and then I think we were at the fair. And we were trying to grab a beer at the beer garden there, and I think 25 people in a row came up to him, and it was entertaining to watch. So we had like that proof of concept that it was working.
And I can't change anything. I can't adjust anything that Alex just said, because it was awesome, and that's true. That's how we got here. But that proof of concept in community building is where it's at. So we'll do like events now for like corporate clients, or we've thrown parties, and we had 188 people there. 40 people got real tattoos at this event. So we're seeing like it's past the groundswell stage now. We want to get more of that type of action, but we're seeing more and more of that. So it's a challenge, I think. As you know here, Matt, like how do you keep coming up with something new, right? Because we had a great series. I think it was great because I wrote it, but like it was like a did you know thing, right? And we're like, oh, did you know this, that? And we had this one YouTube video that we were talking about nutmeg, and there were so many people responding to it, like we were talking about before.
Yeah. And
we're like, great. And then all of a sudden, like we tried 2 more, and it's like, wah, wah.
Right.
So how do you come up with something different or new? It's hard.
It is. And that's, chasing that algorithm, that's always the wildest thing, right? Because, I think the best and most common advice you hear from so many people is to not necessarily invent something new, but take from what is working for other people or what's worked in the past and things like that, make it your own, but do those things. But then you can do that, right? Yeah. You can see, man, these people got 8 million views by this concept, and I can make that concept, and you do a great job, and the video looks great, and cool, you got 7 views. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the game with it, right? And I think a lot of that comes to building the community like you're talking about. But today it's a unique challenge because, as you guys probably know, social media has really now become more interest media.
Yep.
And it used to be all about, I have millions of followers, so it'll show my stuff to them. And now it doesn't matter. You know, now the algorithm's just every individual clip or piece of content goes, who would like this? And it ideally tries to show it to those people, which can work in your favor, right?
Definitely.
But it is, again, it's just that whole, like you said, it's just continually evolving, and half the time you feel like, oh, I got it figured out. That's when the next day, same thing doesn't work again.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, the most successful people are the ones who just don't stop.
Yeah.
And that's, you try to ebb and flow with it, and sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't, but that just continuing to be there, in my opinion anyway, is really what separates the folks that continue to be successful, you know?
Yeah, we've had a lot of opportunities, which is awesome. And we always say, like, when you're busy, and social media gets very overwhelming, like, it's the constant, and everybody deals with the constant pressure that you should be posting because something's happening, or you should be posting all the time. And all the platforms too.
Yep.
And for us, like, we've been getting a lot of people that are like, hey, we should do this together. And it's awesome and we love it. And for us, the challenge is how do we pick?
Yeah.
How do we go down a path that, you know, we start making videos about whatever, and all of a sudden that's the thing that goes viral on social. And now we're the guys that make, you know, like chicken pot pie recipes. And we're like, we don't want to do that. Like, that's not, because we don't want to be influencers. We do want to influence the community, the people we built, and we want to build a community of people that will, like, at our parties, one of the best things that's come from this is that we've had new friend groups meet other friend groups, and they've become friends. They've started dating.
That's cool.
Like, and so at our parties from one season, you know, episode 1, they'll see someone, they'll meet them. Episode 10, you see them on vacation together. You're like, you guys are friends now? I see them at Salt City Market, and I'm like, you guys, wow, this is awesome. So the building of that, which is kind of the original way you would build a community outside of social media, is what's so awesome about it. How do we do that and keep it going on social when it's very superficial?
Yeah.
That keep it going thing, like Alex is talking about, that community forming, and now it exists, so you reinforce it. But I think about the way he's describing that, and I tie it back to something you said earlier, Matt, about, like, you know, don't stop, you have to keep going, right? So, and this isn't plugging Justin Bieber, like, you know, never stop stopping or whatever.
Matt's workout playlist.
I mean, yeah, dude, Bieber can do it. But, like, I think a lot of people will say to us, at least to me, they're like, oh my God, you have a cool job. I'm like, I do have a cool job. And I love what we do, and I love Alex, I love working with him, and I love our crew, and all that's true. But the stress is still there. But I think people don't realize, and what I'm about to say is true, people don't want to hear it. Almost anybody can do this. If you have a good sense of humor and you're not afraid to share that sense of humor or share what you believe in, anybody can do this. But the problem is, one, is not a lot of people try to do it. Or you try, and your first video, like you said, the first video we made, I remember it was in Alex's kitchen. I, like, tore a glove. It was, I mean, terrible, terrible. But we watched it at first, like, oh my God, this is awesome. Then if I go back and watch that now, I cringe my face off, right? I don't like how I look on TV. I don't like how my voice sounds. But if you don't stop and keep going, that's the trick. And I think a lot of people in our community, in our shared community of influencers and creators, people want to do that, but the first step is they're afraid to try, and the second one is they're afraid to keep going. And I think that people need to keep doing that. I mean, how else, you're in this awesome place, but at one point, I don't know this, Matt, but I bet at one point you looked in the mirror, you're like, should I keep doing this? Yeah, you know, and that's tough.
Absolutely. And it's honestly, in my personal case, this isn't even necessarily my first attempt. I opened the first podcast studio in Syracuse over 10 years ago. And the challenge is I was the only person in Syracuse who knew what a podcast was at the time. So didn't go too far. But the lessons I learned, the connections I made from doing that at the time are what made this happen, you know, so many years later. So I think there's just a lot to be said for all of that. Guys, let's talk about your show a little bit more, because I want to, for folks that haven't seen it, we know it's a cooking show, right? But give us a rundown. Like, what does it feel like? Are we here's the recipe and here's what we're going to make today, or are we doing something a little different?
Yeah, so we're about to release season 3. So we have 2 other seasons that air on PBS across the country. The whole premise is you don't need a reason to get together with your friends and family. So like I was mentioning, Halloween was a reason. We made other reasons. And so our buddy, one of our producers and DP, Jeremy, he made a joke, and we filmed this behind the scenes video, and he said, I think this whole thing started because Matt and Alex just had these crazy party ideas and just figured this would be a way to do them where it wouldn't be weird. And it sticks with me because honestly, it's probably true.
Yeah.
But we basically develop a theme. So we did one this season. It was a prom for adults. So a lot of people, everybody's had an experience with a prom in some sort, good or bad, didn't go, went, hated it, loved it. We threw a prom and we made it. We had a band, we had everything. We went to all the 90s American Pie movies and pulled screen grabs and tried to make it as real as possible. So we throw a prom, and then we teach you how to make cocktails. We teach you how to make recipes, appetizers, all different. We create 3 recipes in a cocktail, and then, my little role on screen, besides the behind the scenes stuff, is I'm a little pop-up character, pop up on the screen, and usually correct Matt or heckle Matt.
Correct isn't the right word. Heckle is a better word.
Or give you other tips, how to throw a party. So like we did a boat party, and it was about bringing plastic over glass, and so at the end of the day, our hope is that people watching see themselves like, hey, I used to do all these with my friends and I don't do it anymore. I should start doing it. They see our friend group, which is real and authentic in the party, and they say, that looks like my friend group. We should do this again. We should throw this party. We should cook these recipes. It's not so much like linear of a normal cooking show where like, I'm going to make this thing.
Sure.
It's the theme behind the fact that like, you should come up with your own party with your friends. This could be the one. You could do it at your house. You could throw a real prom. It doesn't matter. And so after each episode is a theme around that party, and they get a lot of fun. And we've been pushing it pretty, off the charts, a little bit different this year.
I love this concept, right? This is the coolest thing because A, it's unique, like you said. B, it's around what everybody loves, which is food. It's like one of the best, uniters across. So I'd love your professional advice. What would you say is one of the easiest go-to party recipes? What should folks think about making if they want something simple but they want to wow their friends?
Well, I think a couple things. If you're throwing a party and you're hosting it, the first thing is you want to buy yourself as much time as possible for 2 reasons. I don't know about anybody else
Don't
here.
prepare 15 minutes before people show up.
But
That's what you're saying?
We all do that, right?
Yeah.
So for me, and this is true, and I love saying what I'm about to say. Sometimes I can say this is true. We throw parties for a living. So I love to throw parties.
Sure.
And every single party I've ever thrown in my life, an hour, half hour before the party, you're like, is anybody going to show up? Do I have enough food?
Yeah.
You get that panicky feeling. Then at the party, you've got to worry about where the food is, what's going on. So, and you want to hang out and have some drinks and carry on. So, one, what can you make in advance the day before? So, I would throw 2 things out there. My favorite background in cooking is Cajun Creole.
Okay.
And a lot of like French cooking too, but French cooking takes some time. So I would do something like make a jambalaya the day before, or like a crawfish Monica, or like seafood pasta or a sausage pasta, and make every layer something special. Like you can make baked ziti special if you cook it with sausage, mix the ricotta into the sauce, so all together, right? Now you've got one thing that you can heat before the party. It's going to be ready to go. On top of that, I would make a batched cocktail. So if it was jambalaya, I'd make like a hurricane that I could keep in a bunch of containers and shake it. Or if it's a summer party, I might the day before marinate a bunch of chicken, have some sausages, hot dogs, take rolls, but grill the rolls so you get the crisp on the bottom of them, and then make margaritas the day before, like a watermelon mint margarita. Check it out on our website. It's a really good one. So you got it ready the day before. So grilling at a party is cool because people come and talk to you about that.
Sure.
But those would be the 2 basic things. And then you can prepare yourself the day before a cocktail, because I love making good cocktails. And we threw this episode in season 3, which was so much fun, called Up in Smoke. And it was like a bunch of dudes unplugging, and we're just making a killer steak dinner. And the drink we made was a bacon fat washed bourbon Manhattan. That was really good. So we're shooting the episode, and afterwards, my favorite part of the show sometimes, and Alex knows this, is I love partying as just a crew afterwards for hours. That's my favorite part. And the whole time for 5 minutes, someone's like, yo, dude, can you make me another one of those drinks? And I'm like, why didn't I batch this, So a batch cocktail, big starch or proteins prepared the day before, that's the first advice I would give.
That's awesome, man. That's incredible advice. I think I'm going to ask this question to Alex. What's the best advice you give to be a guest to one of these parties? What should you bring when it's always like, I feel like I got to bring something,
Yeah. So to one of our parties or a regular party, you're talking about just a regular party.
In general, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I hate this feeling that I'm about to describe, is that you show up somewhere and you don't know what to bring.
Yeah.
A bottle of wine, or and then sometimes when you go to parties, they'll be like, just bring an appetizer, and you're like, what appetizer? What would be like? How many people are going to be there? So I think you know, Matt mentioned something simple. If you can make a dip, people like dips. People like charcuterie boards are popular now, but for me, I just like, you know, with our parties, if you want to be a guest at our party, it's a little different. You just come and be ready to eat and drink and not look at the camera.
Fair enough.
That's my only request of you. Do not look at the camera, because everybody looks at the camera no matter what. They look at the drone, they look at the camera. Come hang out. You don't get to talk a lot. You get to talk a little bit. We break, we cut. Matt talks, you know, the camera and all this stuff.
Party quietly.
It's so funny because people don't know how to party quietly.
Yeah.
But by the end of the party, we hope everybody has an awesome time at our events.
I sort of picture those movies where you see the behind the scenes where everybody's dancing and everything, but then you show the actual footage where there's no audio and it's just people in a room. That's kind of cool.
We did an episode. I mentioned the recording studio, and at the very end, the scene was Matt was smashing this guitar. And the band was playing, so we had to have the band in the background pretend to play and everybody dancing to the pretend music. And the musicians are like trying their best to look real.
Right.
And then Matt was smashing guitar, and as he smashed it, they all had to react and be like pissed off at him. So that was like the most fun to watch from behind the scenes, because they did such a good job. I mean, these people are not actors. They're just normal people that are our friends. So it was so fun to watch them. They did such a great job with it that made it look realistic. But you know, and then part of us always want to entertain too. We want to throw a real party. So I don't know about Matt, but I'm always concerned at all these parties that everyone, on top of the production side that you have to worry about, I'm worried that everybody's having a good time constantly.
I also worry about that all the time. And it's fun. Alex was talking about, like, you're directing in some cases 80 to 100 people all at one time now who have alcohol in their system.
Yeah.
We're a little bit amped up, and he does a great job doing that. But I think we're always concerned about, really, are they having a good time first? Because if they do, then it'll look good on camera. Well, every single party we're worried about that. And every single party we're like, how do we calm these people down so we can shoot this particular scene there? So it comes across, I mean, the behind the scenes thing at our thing is not like people bored standing around. It's us being like, hey, shut up. We need to shoot this thing right here.
It's usually our wives that are the ones that are being loud, and we're like, you've been on 30 shoots now. I know the rules. What are you doing? They're like, oh, sorry. Yeah.
The prom episode, we did this morning after, which is a raging adult, not adult. It was like this rooftop party that was just an absolute banger. And I remember at one point brooming through the place, and I have to be like, excuse me, like people are like still drinking and partying, and be like, you can't go home, or you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Get out of here. So in the best of ways. So, but every time we're worried about that every time,
and they do. They always have fun.
Wild. So you're in your third season. How many episodes are in a season?
We have 10 episodes, so they're roughly 30-minute episodes.
So then the other thing I'm thinking about is, obviously you're throwing a party for every episode. How do you schedule shooting? Like, how far apart between each one do you do these?
Well, Alex can speak to that from a better standpoint, but the national TV show is a half-hour show. Meanwhile, we have over 300 4-minute segments that are on the places that are on YouTube, right? So I'd love to hear Alex's answer to this. How do we schedule? Because we have to schedule a weekend with the Buffalo Bills, get their permission, do all this stuff at one point, and then during that week shoot 2 other episodes, rest of the episode, and then the next week throw in the party. So how do we schedule that? Because I just show up.
I think the challenge in season 1 was getting a format, and then as you just kind of repeat the format. So even though you want to make it fresh, we'll make it fresh in other ways and the jokes and things, but we have to have a structure. So when everybody comes now, all of our crew, they know that we're shooting scene 1, scene 2, and they know what they are. That helps us immensely. So whether we're in the tailgate lot at the Buffalo Bills Stadium, or we're at a rooftop, or it's pouring rain, or we filmed down a river, like floating down a river, which was challenging. So regardless of where we were, they know the scenes they have to film, and they know the B-roll they have to get. So that helps us from a crew perspective. Scheduling it, like the prep work of the parties, the planning, like the prom was such a big overhaul. So we had to rely on our crew to get, at the end of the day, the disco ball wouldn't work. Like they're so, I tell the crew all the time, they're like, they know, they work on movies and things. It's like, while you're trying to plan the guest list and make sure people show up, we're always worried, like, are we going to have 80 people to fill this big room that we got?
Yeah.
I'm out getting pizza for the crew, or I'm out buying like a random thing at Michael's because we needed this stupid, like this prop, right? And so there's so many layers of it. I think it's a structured thing, and we pick the ones that are the best. And then really the heavy lift is, do we have the menu ready? Are the people going to come? Did the invites go out? Did they even understand what we're inviting them to half the time? And getting the people there is always the biggest challenge because people have a lot of stuff on their plate. So.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be a unique part too, right? You've got to probably can't do things during business hours on a Tuesday or something because you need the crowd.
Right. So we're picking at weekends.
Yeah.
We have been able to pick like Wednesday nights. It's hard to get people, but it's the smaller ones. So like the recording studio, we needed like 30 people. So we did it on a weekday night. The weekends are so packed for everyone. And then we got to look at what's happening around the area because we can't be planning something where we need 100 people and there's, Taste of Syracuse or something's going on. Yeah.
Guys, have you ever thought about taking this format and instead of just shooting the show, doing a live, like ticketed event for the public sort of thing?
Yeah. So we've had long discussions about not making an events company, but throwing specific parties.
Sure.
And we've done a couple. So Matt mentioned the tattoos. The fundraiser we threw at season 1 was at Heritage Hill. So ticketed $100, all you can eat and drink, and free tattoos.
Wow.
And the tattoos were like...
And Sophistafunk.
Yeah, Sophistafunk. So we had like... And it was obviously, it's a beautiful venue, so it sells itself. But the tattoos were the thing that like, everybody... You've been to a lot of fundraisers, parties, things like that. Heritage Hill throws parties every week. What makes us different? The excitement around that tattoos was wild. Like we thought we were going to give away 10. I mean, we gave away 30, 40 tattoos, and to line the sheet, we could have probably gave away 100 of them.
Wow.
And so there's a section in every great party, you have different things. There's different levels of party. There's the tattoo part, the area where the tattoos, there's a party around there. There's the band, there's the sunset, there's the cornhole, there, whatever. There's like different layers of things that are happening. So there's different groups. And so what we try to do in a lot of those is do that. And so we threw a party at a sponsor, Bear Creek, and we in Brewerton, and we had a lamb focused menu, and we brought live sheep there. So it was a little rough. Not only did you get to hold the sheep and it was nice and cuddly, but you got to a different sheep. You got to eat it, and we sold wool gloves, and it was pouring rain out. It was May 31st. I'll remember it last year. Yep. The coldest day out of nowhere. It was freezing cold and pouring rain, and we still had 150 people there.
Wow.
A great band. And I think as we do those, like we've done those, we're going to do more of those. We partnered, we're good friends with Myers Creek and Dinosaur Barbecue. We're working on something with them right now. So we're going to do more of those. But it's funny because with the show, we've got to film this. Like, time is our most valuable resource. It's the one we spend most freely. But the thing is, Alex touched on was like the tattoos. Alex has this innate ability, not just from the show, but for throwing parties with some stuff that's there that people don't expect, whether it's like an ice luge, the tattoos, bands, or there's other things that you're like, are people going to like this? And they love it. So one of the things, we're going to do more of those things, yes, Matt, and incorporate that part of our personality into it. Like we're doing something with our friend Kelly owns a bookstore called Lit Actually, which is like a romance novel. And she does like a monthly cool book club. And we're doing something with them in our studio. So we can do smaller scale ones. But part of our business plans is like, we say monthly, and it's easy to say it. We're going to do one of those once a month, but we're going to do them right. So the answer to your question is yes. We just got to figure out, like, we're gonna do a bunch of them, and they're not gonna fail. But behind the scenes, we're gonna have to make a lot of mistakes and errors. So the answer is yes. I just don't know the frequency.
And we're not a catering company. People ask us to cook like that, and we have partners we use. We don't want to be a catering company.
Sure.
We would love, like, if someone comes to us and says, "Hey, we have this event and we need it to be different," that's right up our alley. But the traditional event stuff, we'll recommend food. We'll pick the menu. We'll do custom menus. We'll make custom cocktails, but we're not catering it, right? Like that's not our specialty. So Matt can cook for 10, 20 people. But again, if Matt's cooking for 10 people, he's not in the party, and he needs to be in the party for this to be successful.
I completely agree. Yeah, no, it's just interesting as we're talking about your community and your following and exactly what you're doing. I'm just thinking as a fan of this, the ultimate thing I want to do is party with these guys. So I think
we get that a lot in a non hey, we're so cool way, but like we really, what we want to create, regardless of us, our friend crew as a whole, is people want to come hang out with us. because they feel like they can be authentic around the group that we're with, and they can be themselves. So like, it's important to us that is the thing that people think when they see our socials. When they, we had a long time ago, early on in this, we had the Syracuse, the Symphoria come to us and they said, hey, we don't know what, but we want to do something with you.
Oh, that was a great part.
Yeah. And so we, outside the box, we're like, listen, we're going to throw a rock concert because you need a younger audience. We're going to throw a rock concert. We're going to make posters. We're going to make you feel like rock stars, and we're going to throw it in that fashion. And they loved it. And I think that's the kind of parties we want to throw, is like a different way to look at everyone or every company.
The spin that Alex put on that too was they had a quartet, and we did it in the McCarthy Mercantile, and we had like this. We gave them some song ideas. It was like they would do like "Welcome to the Jungle" or like Adele or all these like cool pop rock songs, and people were just hanging out drinking. And we made like flower crowns like it was Coachella. And Alex just talked about the people, and you mentioning how do you come and party with us? Shoot us an email. There are many people that have been, I mentioned Vinny earlier. We met him from him watching the show, reaching out to us. There are other people that are like, oh, I know so-and-so that loves the show. Okay, we're throwing a clam bake at Myers Creek. This is that party was big, and we catered it ourselves because we had to.
Our bar tab was enormous.
Bar tab was enormous, and there are people that are like, and when you say to them, like, I want to come and party and be on your show, we're like, okay, cool, here's the date, and they say yes, and you're like, they're not going to show up, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, let's do it.
After all the fun stuff, we actually have a budget, which is crazy, that we blow through every time we throw a party. So that.
But if you're one of our sponsors, we're getting better.
Yeah, we throw these parties because we want everybody to have the most fun. So if we talk about
the
it,
whole product right there.
We're having a launch party for our season 3 coming up, and one of the things we keep debating is like $1,000 one way or another. If it's going to change the party and make everybody have the most fun, it's worth it. So like that night at the clam bake, not only were we making a show, but I was behind the bar checking the tab every 5 minutes. We already blew through our first limit. Like we gave them a area to stop, and
wow,
so it's fun.
That's wild. On that, and I'll just ask you a couple more things, fellas, and I'll let you, because I know you got so many things going on. I really appreciate your time, by the way. This is so cool to have you guys here. This is just so much fun. I'd talk to you for days if you let me. But if you wouldn't mind, let's talk a little bit about sponsors for just a moment. So you've got a show on PBS. Obviously, you do some social media stuff. There's some other. You have a background in marketing and all these things. What do you offer your sponsors, and typically, how do you choose who you even work with?
Yeah, so well, obviously the PBS, the media on PBS is a big, with our show being in 50 plus markets around the country. One of the things is a kind of a national spot that sits with us inside of our show. So outside of the normal TV spend, you can buy something locally. We mentioned CNY Central News Show. We do segments on there. PBS is tough because we can't do product placement.
Gotcha.
So, and you see a lot of shows that don't, Food Network and stuff, there's not a lot of product placement on it. And
I assumed that would have been the primary thing.
Yeah. And
we wish.
Yeah. But like, if we're going to a brand, a food or, beverage brand, they're going to want to see their product on our show.
Right.
We're like, well, we can offer it in the party, but we can't say we're using your product. So that's incredibly hard. But on the Sinclair, CNY Central side, which is our Sunday morning show, we can do that.
Gotcha.
So we'll sell opportunities on there. We're doing one this afternoon with a local charity where Matt's feeding a dog, which will be a lot of fun. And so we're able to do that on there. Outside of that, because of our agency backgrounds, we get ourselves in trouble this way a little bit too, is like we have so much fun with brands come in and say, this is our challenge and that we can solve it. So in the effort of time, we've always liked to have some sort of standard proposal, but we always make them custom.
Yeah.
So, whether it's working with whoever, we find their need and we make it. So we can throw a party. We can create product videos. We can create social media videos for you. We can just throw an out of the box idea just in content in general. But what a lot of brands don't have, a lot of these bigger companies that own a bunch of hot sauces or whatever, they own so many products and they can't manage the social.
Gotcha.
And the big thing is they don't have a personality. So at the very, very least, what we try to offer is we have a personality that will engage your fans. We have the production quality, and we can make stuff very quickly because it's just us doing it. So we customize a lot of that stuff, and so some people look at it like, I don't necessarily want the traditional media route, and what we say is that we're not traditional in any sense of the word.
Sure.
We have that option, but
We customize everything, and Alex mentioned about being collaborative. So we, like any media company, like you too, you need to generate revenue, and this is how you generate revenue. But so far we've been really good at standing by our guns and working with brands that with products and things that we use. Kraus is one of our sponsors. I would not be alive, nor would Alex if we hadn't been in Kraus Hospital, right? Wow. So that's cool. Loretto, we're doing some other work. IBW Nika, there's lights on in my house. It's because of nutrition. So that part takes care of itself. But Alex mentioned the creative side of it, and that's where we actually have the most fun, and we stretch ourselves too thin, but at our expense, not the sponsors. So we worked with one of our big partners has been Tito's Vodka, the national brand. And we help them come up with different ideas for cocktails and for National Record Store Day. If they have a unique challenge, like Alex said, we'll do that. We had one brand that their deal was Sam Adams. It was during COVID, and they're like, hey, we love what you guys are doing, and we made like an interview with their head brewmaster about Sam's summer because they needed content to keep people engaged. And we're like, what other problems do you have? And we're hoping they're like, we need a TV commercial. And they're like, well, our regional sales teams, which are really awesome, we're having a hard time like keeping them engaged because we're separated. So Alex and I came up with an idea we basically mailed all of them different ingredients, and over Zoom would throw these banging parties. And they were like, we'll do this for 2 hours and we'll instruct them how to do it and have this like question and answer game. And every single time we're like, this is 2 hours. And 4 hours later, we're on the Zoom and I'm like,
and no one's getting off.
How do we turn this thing off?
We're like, should I just hit the power button?
Yeah.
What Matt said though is like demos. We have a new studio in Syracuse, which we're going to do food demos and parties and things like that. So we have a lot of ways to kind of stretch in that. And like, because we come at it as like, we do, right? We want sponsorship money, but we don't want sponsorship.
The lights on.
We don't want sponsorship money where there's no value to the sponsor. Like,
sure.
Yes. I hate selling things, as does Matt. I hate being salesy. So I want them to come and say, these guys are offering me value, not just like, hey, they came and sold me a magazine slot. And
right.
So it's very important that we offer them value.
Totally.
I love that. And I can see that that's definitely something that you have to offer. You've got clearly the resume and the demonstration that we can do some cool stuff that will get that attention and give you some true value. And I'm with you. It's weird when you look around and see some of these kind of advertising and marketing worlds and the amount of money people spend on things that clearly has no return. It's like, what?
Because there's always been a way you do things. There's always been a way all this stuff works. And there's a lot of companies, and listen, they're supporting awesome things, and it's like things, entertainment, whatever it is in the community that we get because of that money that may not support the business back, but it's awesome. And that's why we have cool stuff here. But at the end of the day, with our kind of brand, ours is unique because we have the power to just do it. Like we literally can say, Matt, do you want to talk about this on camera? It's edgy. Yeah, of course I do. Whereas a lot of companies, you just can't do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the traditional media, there's a space for that. There are good billboards that add value. Like I saw this great Budweiser one a little while, or Bud Light one, which was great. There's other ones you're like, why did this person just waste all this overspill on this?
I love billboards, though. I'm a big billboard
I do it too. But make sure you're not wasting your money, like you said,
right.
Matt. And Alex just touched on something like we have the power to do this. One of the things that I love about working with Alex that puts so much, it's one of the driving forces of our brand is, and I get this from Alex, but this is what he does. He sees a challenge and he's like, hell yeah, what is a creative way I can solve this? And sometimes they should be unsolvable, but we haven't met an unsolvable one yet.
Yeah.
The weather kind of screws with some things sometimes. But so for sponsors, and if anyone's out there looking, visit spatchcockfunk.com. But anyways, we love to find creative ideas, and it works.
We have a lot of challenges. So season 4, we're in the development of, and I want to push it further. Like I don't want you guys threw we did a Kentucky Derby party, which was awesome.
Oh, wow.
It's a little bit more of parties that people have heard of. I want it to go a little bit.
But Alex
wild.
wanted to roast a horse. I'm like, that's not cool.
No. We have this idea this year, and Matt said there's no challenges we haven't. This is going to be the one that is the one that could break us. But we want to throw this sick concert in the middle of a lake, and all the boats, pontoon boats, whatever, come up. We have a barge in the middle of the lake, and we developed this. We were at our buddy Timmy's camp on Oneida Lake. And I was like, this would be cooler. All the boats pull up. This would be cool if there was a band there. And we kept talking about it. And our buddy Timmy's very he can make this stuff happen. He understands how the water works.
The physics and science.
The physics behind it. And he's like, you would need a barge this big. I'm like, let's get one. And so we're reaching out to big 90s punk bands and stuff. And we want because at the end of the day, the shoot's going to be awesome, the visuals are going to be beautiful, but the party's going to be that much more fun and something that Sarah, I don't know that they've thrown anywhere. So
just the whole concept, honestly, is as adults, you don't even get to go to many parties. I feel like or they're boring as hell. And so I love that you guys are doing this in general, and I also think that like your timing is perfect because as you're just looking at trends, a lot of folks are saying that we're finally long past that COVID stuff that really kept people home.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think going out and doing things had started to decline long before COVID, but now people are over it. And I think the desire to actually get out of the house and be with other humans in person is a booming thing once again, which is wonderful. And you guys are right that you're showing them how to do it right.
We found
which
that,
is
like,
which is the greatest place to be.
Yeah. People have come to our parties and told us that like they don't ever get to. They have kids. I have kids.
Yeah.
With kids, you're working and you have kids.
Yeah.
People ask me what my hobby is. I'm like, I don't know, work,
right,
kids. Like there's no, because you don't have the time to do that stuff. So we're giving them like, there's no excuse. We're throwing you a party. It's free.
Yep.
You're gonna come hang out with us, and you're gonna have a lot of fun, and then you're gonna want to come to the next one. And I think what we've been finding is that we're reviving. I think 25 to 54. It's like our sweet spot because it's people that used to do the thing.
Yeah.
Don't do it anymore because it doesn't exist, and so we're giving them that option.
I love it. I love it. Spatchcock Funk is the name of the show. I'm guessing that's the easiest way to find you on all the socials.
Yeah, following on those socials. The half-hour episodes and tons of other content are also on YouTube.
Nice.
But yeah, subscribe,
and luckily
follow.
SEO is not a problem for us when you search our name. We're right at the top.
See, great at search.
That's brilliant. And you mentioned earlier your website. That's the best place to go if you want a sponsorship. Reach out, learn more about the show. Is that accurate?
Yep. There's a contact us tab at the top. DM us on Instagram.
Awesome.
Honestly, like. Hopefully we've given, and if you can't find us, let us know because hopefully we've given you enough ways to hunt us down. Or come to the Salt City Market. I spent a lot of time there too.
And then lastly, I'll say we talked a little bit about the show, about how you're on in these different markets, and the schedules are a little different, right, in terms of when they start the episodes and things. But locally here in central New York, greater New York State, when might people find the show on PBS?
So season 3 starts April 7th.
Nice.
Tuesdays 9, and then it re-airs. Each episode that week airs on Saturdays at 3:30.
Sweet.
They, I believe, are in the process of airing season 1 and 2 leading up, but then it will re-air. So it's 10 weeks in a row. It will re-air again. They get released on our YouTube as well. So one way or another you'll find it.
And if you're in other cities, like we've got a lot of peeps in Denver and San Francisco and LA and those places. So they air at different times. But if you are listening to this, because I know you got a lot of people that are New York's transplants and people that are in other areas, if it hasn't started on your PBS station yet, just go to our YouTube and check it out.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's great. Any plans to visit some of those bigger cities?
Yes.
Do some things out there?
Yeah, we're trying
Other
to
cities, I should
expand our footprint. Like, so when we went to Buffalo for the Bills game and we filmed, we gained a ton of Buffalo fans.
Yeah.
We went to Albany recently for this awesome wine festival. Again, gained it. So we're expanding through New York. But Denver, Matt mentioned, like they air our show 3 times a week. And so we get messages all the time from Denver and different cities. And so like our hope is that we're going to throw these kind of parties in those cities.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about throwing a party at Red Rock and
I was just going to say,
Colorado.
imagine if you could do that there.
And we're doing an event. We don't know the details yet. We've been talking about an event in Canada with some of our friends through Watertown to Ottawa, and then other streaming services that we're talking to. So
every single time there's an event request from us, our goal is how can we make this the craziest event you've ever been to and the craziest location. So like even our crews like, oh, you found like this building is so awesome. People would come in here and be like everybody that comes in is like, this is amazing. This is cool. That's what we want everybody to do when they come to our parties. Like I've never been here. And in the process of this show and all the crazy stuff, they're seeing more of the community that they've never seen. So
some of these streaming services are sleeping on you fellas. I'm telling you what, you'd forget about the show. You'd throw an event that would get enough publicity for them that would be worth whatever they'd pay you. But they'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, hopefully they figure it out. Yeah,
I love it. I love it, guys. Matt, Alex, this has been awesome. Come back anytime. And anything that we can do to help promote even your charitable efforts or just talk about new seasons and new things going on. That's absolutely
we need to have you at our studio and then also at the next parties. We'll make sure you're there.
Hell yeah. I'm down for that.
Awesome.
Get an
That's a work appointment where I get to go
totally.
to a party. So
Write it off.
I'm
Yeah,
totally with it. I love it, fellas. Anything else we should tell folks before we cut out? No, this is.
I don't think so. I think this was
wonderful.
awesome. Yeah.
I really appreciate it. I also appreciate everybody for watching and listening and sharing and everything they do here with Good News York, and especially to our sponsor, Ads on the Go. GetAdsOnTheGo.com is the website. Our man Zach's got the billboard truck you see all over central New York, and it's awesome. It does an incredible job, and we can't thank him enough for being our ongoing sponsor of Good News York. So with that, we'll see you next time. Peace out.